Hello everyone, Phil here, and welcome to DSP versus the Internet episode 69 here on DSPReacts. The date is June 16, 2024, and indeed it is American Father's Day. So happy Father's Day out there to anyone watching who may be celebrating the holiday today. I know that other countries internationally do not celebrate Father's Day at the same time as us, but if you are celebrating today, congrats, have a good day. For those who are here live, welcome to the show. Hope you're all ready for my weekly clips react show, where basically members submit clips for me to watch every week, and it's always a big, good variety of stuff. I'm sure today will be no exception. We start off today with the Ultra member submissions. These are people who are the highest tier supporter of the channel, and we watch the clips that they have suggested once a week. All right, once we get through the Ultra member clips, we'll get to the standard submissions tier, which are people who are lower tier members, and they're thrown into a randomized playlist. Everyone has an equal chance to get their video watched. Some weeks we do get through all the videos, some weeks we don't. Let's see how we do this week. And I actually do believe that there will be a couple videos in here that will be Father's Day themed as well. So, all right, without further ado, let's get started with the Ultra member submissions for the week. How dogs are trained to sniff out hidden electronics. Let's see. Let's find out. And by the way, please let me know how the volume sounds. If it's too loud or too low, I need to adjust. Tell me in the chat. Okay, here we go.
These police dogs aren't looking for illegal drugs or explosives. They're looking for something that most of us have on us at all times.
You know what's funny already right off the bat? They were looking at a car. Isn't a car an electronic to begin with? There's tons of electronics built into a car. So how is the dog trained to discern between an electronic that's part of a car build or is separate from that? And shout out to Orcs or Dorks who re-upped their memberships for 15 months this morning. Thank you, Orcs or Dorks. Okay.
Cell phones.
Every crime is usually touching some sort of digital evidence. Cell phones are ubiquitous. Everybody has a cell phone, so it's important a lot of times to find these devices if they are hidden or discarded.
Detective George Jupin is the proud owner of Selma, the first dog ever trained to sniff for electronics. Selma is part of a pilot program at the Connecticut State Police Department. The program trains dogs to find devices that store data. Since 2012, they've trained 9 dogs. And they've shared their knowledge with other police departments. So
Is the audio sounding like it's breaking up for you guys? Because it sounds like it's breaking up for me. The weird part about that is, I've been gaming all week and not had this problem. The last time I had the problem was when I was reacting to videos. Is it the YouTube app that's having this problem? How does the audio sound to you guys? It sounds to me like it's actually like breaking up a bit. But I don't think it's my neck phones or anything. You don't notice anything? I wonder what it could be. What could it be? Because it's not doing it for games for me at all. So how the hell could it be a YouTube-specific issue? This is very odd. What, and you guys are hearing it fine. Quality. Yeah, there's no audio quality on YouTube to even select. All right, well.
they can train their own dogs. Selma and the other dogs in training aren't
it's going, Zelda and the other dogs in, like, training, like that. That's what I'm hearing. Like, the other dogs in training. Like, why am I hearing it like that? That is so odd. Right? I don't know what would cause that. It's not cutting out. It just sounds distorted. And that also was happening when I did a private react last week. This is so weird. What would cause that? I'm trying to unplug and replug my audio devices here. Cable looks fine.
For cell phones. They're looking for anything that might store data. Things like thumb drives, computers, SD cards, and cameras.
Hi.
Before the program existed, investigators had a hard time finding digital evidence.
They found as they were doing their investigations that they were missing pieces. You know, they could find paperwork, but they were missing devices that could have stored a lot of information. And they asked, is there any chance that we can train a dog to find a thumb drive? I think was the first thing they asked.
A lot of the work we do is crimes against children or child exploitation work, where we're looking for devices that have illegal content on them. So that could range from desktop or laptop computers to smartphones and removable devices like USB drives or flash drives.
In 2015, an electronic sniffing dog found a hidden
Oh,
thumb
wow.
drive at Jared Fogel's house. It ended
Wow.
up being a key piece of evidence in the case against the former Subway spokesperson. The dogs are used in other scenarios too, like counterterrorism cases, where someone could be storing documents or plans on a hidden thumb drive. Or in cases of fraud, where proof of fraudulent businesses or forged documents could be found on a concealed laptop.
We got called out to a scene where the concern was that there might be some hidden cameras throughout the house. Brought Selma in and we searched the house, each floor of the house and each room in the house. And when we got into one of the bathrooms, Selma alerted to a vent. Inside that vent, we discovered there was a miniature camera.
So how exactly do these dogs manage to smell something that, to us, doesn't have much of a scent? Humans have about 6 million olfactory receptors in our noses. Dogs have up to 300 million.
Damn.
So they obviously have a much better sense of smell. To get these dogs to sniff out electronics specifically, the canine team sent a bunch of devices to their lab, which was able to isolate one specific scent.
The
Okay.
compound we use is triphenylphosphamine oxide, TPPO for short.
TPPO is a chemical that coats memory chips to protect them from overheating.
Huh.
With TPPO isolated, handlers can train the dogs to locate devices.
All that is a simple food reward system. We have the dog smell the odor, they're rewarded with food. Smell the odor, rewarded with food, repetitively.
There you go. It's just a chemical. It's just like them sniffing out drugs, correct? Right. It's just like them sniffing out any kind of a substance. They just attach to that scent. Because I was thinking, oh, in a car, if they're sniffing out electronics, I mean, there's electronic wiring in that car. There's lighting. There's a million things probably in the dashboard and everything. Like, how would it discern? Because it's looking for that one particular scent on a microchip. Okay. Now, the thing is, modern cars have a lot of microchips in them, right? I wonder how a dog would do in a Tesla looking for a phone. I don't know.
The dogs learn to associate the smell of the chemical with being fed, and that's what motivates them to search for it. They start out by smelling the pure chemical in a jar so they can really master the scent. Once a dog gets that down, they move on to real devices to see if they can identify the smell of TPPO when it's inside a device. And even though all dogs have a good sense of smell, they aren't all right for the job.
We're looking for dogs that are methodical in their searches, that aren't easily excitable, that can be around a lot of people, that can be in areas that are confined. And the temperament of the Labradors fits that profile, and that's why we use them exclusively.
The Labrador
Once the
Retriever.
Labradors know the TPPO scent, the real training starts. Halligan hides devices in cars and then sets them on fire. This is to train the dogs to identify the smell of TPPO.
I have an idea. I'm going to try something, okay? Let's see if this changes the problem. Here we go.
Even if the device has been torched. The dogs also do room searches, so they become familiar with searching an indoor environment.
Yep.
When a dog locates a device, it sits down to alert its handler.
It's my controller. Because I just unplugged the headphones from my controller and plugged them into the surround sound device that I use whenever I use PS3. And it didn't give me the problem whatsoever. So I think my controller port is shot. My headphone controller port. That sucks. Because there's nothing wrong with this controller at all. Except the fucking controller port. Head jack? That's shitty. And this is not even a year old. I bought this in November around a Black Friday sale time. So it's only about 6 months old. And you're going to tell me that that headphone jack has an issue? That is insanely stupid.
The handler then asks the dog to point to it again, and then gets more food.
Show me.
The dogs only get fed if they've smelled TPPO first.
Show me.
That way, they continue to stay motivated to find it.
Good job. That's a good boy.
But don't worry, they do get enough food. And they even get to have normal lives outside of work.
She comes with me to work, and she comes with me back home. I mean, she's like family.
So what it might be, the weird thing is, it's only happening on YouTube, because I've played games this week. Like, I played Fallout and everything this week and didn't have this issue. I think that means that there's a weird issue with the Xbox app for YouTube decoding audio for that headphone jack having an issue. That is so odd, because how it only happens on YouTube. Well, anyway, that was interesting, but it was pretty easy. Like, I thought it was going to be more complex than that, and it ended up being a really simple thing. They just train it to sniff for a certain chemical. That's nice. So, guys, how did the audio sound? Right? Did it sound good? Black Sky said I had to cut a piece of straw and stick it underneath the port gap of my controller. Now there's no problems with audio. Well, I don't really have a port gap that I can see. Yeah, I don't really see. And like I said, I didn't seem to have this issue with games this week. It was literally only on YouTube. It was this React stream, the private React I did last week, like all that stuff, I had the issue. Very weird. Okay. Anyway, all right. Well, that was interesting. A good video. Let's see what's next. Visman Subramaniam? Visbrin Subramaniam. Okay, then. I have no idea what a Raya Haji is. I guess we're about to find out.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Vishman Subramaniam. So today I'm gonna tell you the things that you should know about Hari Raya Haji. So one of the great things about living in Malaysia is the
I'm literally only hearing his voice through the left channel. So definitely there's something up with this right now.
opportunity to experience so many different religious and cultural festivals. So Hari Raya Haji is just one of them. So the first thing to know is Hari Raya Haji marks the
No, that's on your end too? You're only hearing him through the left channel? Oh, okay. I thought my headphone jack was breaking even worse. No, that's him. That's his video. Okay, never mind.
end
Good.
of the Hajj. Each year, millions of worshippers flock to Islam's most sacred mosque, Al-Masjid Al-Haram, by performing the Hajj. So devotees show their commitment to God. So Muslims who are physically and financially able to are required to go on the pilgrimage at least once in their lives. So the Hajj involves
Oh,
various
yeah.
rituals.
I heard about this. That if you're part of the Muslim religion, you're required to go on a pilgrimage once in your life to a particular area. And I guess he's gonna show you this is it. The Hari Raya Haji. Okay.
Including circling the Kaaba, a building in the middle of the mosque, 7 times. So the Kaaba, which is considered the most sacred site in Islam, is also where Muslims face for prayer wherever they are in the world. Secondly, Hari Raya Haji and Hari Raya Puasa are not the same thing. So Hari Raya Puasa marks the end of the fasting month of Ramadan, while Hari Raya Haji marks the end of the Hajj. Since Hari Raya Haji has a more spiritual focus, it doesn't have the same concentration on feasting as the main part of the celebrations like Hari Raya Puasa. But you can
I have no idea what that meant. I guess there's two different things that sound the same and they're different. One's about fasting, one's a different celebration. I guess I don't know.
still expect to see tables lined with traditional food in Muslims' homes. The third one, Hari Raya Haji, is celebrated on the 10th day of the final month of Islamic calendar. Dates for Islamic festivals are based on astronomical calculations, hence they differ every year. Because Islamic calendar, a lunar one, is shorter than the Gregorian calendar. Islamic festivals occur around 10 to 11 days earlier every year. So back in 2006, Hari Raya Haji was celebrated twice, 10th January and 31st December. So the
Oh, wow, that's interesting to know. They don't use the Gregorian calendar, so their festivals are of a shorter time frame than once a year. So sometimes they can actually have two of the same thing in 1 year, and the dates keep shifting. Wow, that's odd. Can you imagine? Like, for example, if we had Christmas, but it kept shifting. So 1 year it's December, 1 year it's like earlier December, the next year it's like November, the next year it's like mid-November, and it just keeps one year you have it in July, Christmas in July, because it keeps shifting around. Well, that would be pretty weird, huh? I never knew that. I did not know that the Muslim holidays shift around like that.
Fourth one, also known as Eid al-Adha, the feast of the sacrifice. Hari Raya Haji commemorates the great faith of the Prophet Ibrahim. So what's the story behind it? He obeyed God's command to sacrifice his son Ismail. So as Ibrahim was about to kill his son on the altar, God intervened and provided a sheep for the sacrifice instead. So since then, Muslims around the world would sacrifice livestock such as sheep, lambs.
And I'm just going to interject here. Is that not the story in I'm having a brain fart here. Not Catholicism, because it's the Old Testament, right? Is that not the story of Abraham in the Old Testament of the Bible, right? It's Abraham and his son. It's the same story, correct? And the story carries over between religions? Huh. That's interesting, that there's carryover stories. And I believe that Muslims do believe that Jesus Christ was real, but they actually believe that he was a prophet. He was not the son of God. So, did exist, similar story, different formal role.
And goats through a ritual known as the Qurban. It involves facing the animal in the direction of the Kaaba and saying a prayer. So its throat is slit to ensure a quick death, and then the meat is distributed to worshippers and the needy. The fifth one, the festival is also observed through fasting and prayers. So although it isn't compulsory, Muslims may fast on the eve of Hari Raya Haji. So on the morning of the festival, Muslims will head to the mosque for sermons and prayers. So after this, the Qurban is carried out. Then Muslims visit family and friends to share food and gifts. So these are the things that you should know about Hari Raya Haji. I hope you enjoy the video. Please do like, share.
The thing I learned the most that was fascinating was that their dates move around for all their holidays. I had no clue. Because it's weird, again, I don't pay attention to holidays that aren't, they're like hyper-religious holidays, you know what I mean? Like, I also don't pay attention to, like, Jewish religious holidays and things. Doesn't really affect me. But I never noticed that the dates were moving around for Muslim holidays. I had no idea. And wow, completely fascinating. All right.
I edit video game trailers for a living, and here are 7 games which were my favorite projects to work on, for different reasons which I'll share. 1. Firewatch.
Whoa, whoa. Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it.
This game put me on the map, and it was my first E3 trailer playing on a giant screen.
Oh, nice.
What I loved about this game, other than the game itself, was how much I felt like part of the team, and everyone was so great to work with. It was my first real look behind the scenes of a game in development, watching the parts needed for the trailer get polished and tweaked.
Oh, that's
I
neat.
worked this one
The
nights
game
and
before it's
weekends because
done.
I had a full-time job at the time. To this day, I have people tell me this trailer is what got them to buy the game.
You're not in your tower?
No, I'm not.
Then who is?
I remember this trailer. I remember seeing it at that E3 presentation live with all of you. That's awesome.
2. Ooblets.
Ooblets? What the hell is this?
To this day, this game had some of the best debug camera
By the way, guys, is the volume level good? I want to make sure that everything sounds good. Let me know in the chat, okay?
tools I've ever used. What really helped was the fact the player doesn't use many buttons to play, which meant there were a lot of buttons available for different camera moves. I could reposition the camera and have it still locked to the movement of the character for shots like these. Also, this is one of the only games I ever worked on where there are little pop-ups whenever I change the camera speed. This, I'm sure, is due in no small part to the fact Rebecca, the programmer and co-creator of the game, used to work in UI/UX. I turned around this trailer in just 7 days, and I couldn't have done it without those tools. 3. Katana Zero.
I don't know this game either. Katana Zero.
This is one of the few games where I basically didn't have to ask the developer for anything special or custom to make this trailer, aside from what was already in the game, including the music. Usually, the music from the game isn't structured in a way which works for the trailer, but the tracks I picked for this trailer were as is from the developer.
Huh. The clips just work. Wow, that's cool.
The visuals and sound design of this game meant it was easy to make feel super punchy and hard-hitting. The only thing I regret is not toning down the screen shake for the footage, but what can you do?
Oh, I see. Because the game has screen shake in its gameplay, and he thinks it would have showed the game off a little better in the trailer without the screen shake. Got it. So what it must have been was there was ability in the game to mute the music, and he was given availability to the soundtrack, so he could just superimpose random, or not random, but selected soundtracks for each scene, and it actually aligned with the game. That's kind of nice. Good work.
4. Spelunky 2.
I never played Spelunky. I know a lot of people like Spelunky.
This was a dream come true because I'm a huge fan of Spelunky. This is another game which had fantastic debug tools, courtesy of the folks at Blitworks. I could spawn any item, teleport easily to any part of the game, and record replay files of levels I played. This was essential for things like the opening shot, which I had to play over and over again to get just right.
Because he's trying to show like good level of gameplay to show off the game, so he probably had to redo this segment a ton, you know, because it's a challenging game.
Also, I got to play a lot of Spelunky 2 before it came out. What's not to like? The debug tools also let me do fun things like this trailer where I carved out the ground to spell the release date in-game.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually pretty cool.
5. Half-Life Alyx. If Spelunky 2 was a dream game, this was a... No, actually pinch me. What the hell am I doing here?
It's unloaded. It's unloaded now.
Well, my friends at Campo Santa who made Firewatch got bought out by Valve and were a big part of the Half-Life Alyx team. And at this point in my career, I'd done a bunch of VR work, so they called me.
I didn't know
to
that.
help. This was another great example of a project being fun because I was part of a larger team where everyone was doing what they were best at to make the trailer better. Also, the game is really fun to play, which helps when doing dozens and dozens of takes because an NPC isn't acting precisely the way I wanted them to. I spent 6 weeks at the Valve offices working on this trailer, and it was a surreal experience I'll never forget. Number 6, Psychonauts 2.
Don't panic.
He made some pretty good trailers, huh? He worked on a lot of stuff and some really good trailer stuff here. Cool. I liked the Psychonauts 2 trailer.
You said panic.
I keep saying dream job, but I don't know what to tell you. They just keep happening to me. As fate would have it, 2 Player Productions, the documentary team that had been working with Double Fine for years, was too busy to work on the story trailer for Psychonauts 2. So, a friend of mine at Double Fine I'd known for about 10 years messaged me saying, "Want to work on Psychonauts 2?" This one felt like coming full circle to when I was making fan trailers for AAA games in the Hollywood trailer editing style. It was the biggest game I ever worked on my own. It took me 2 weeks just to capture the game and organize my footage. My first select strings of dialogue was 10 hours long. I don't often get to make trailers this bombastic, but it was such a joy.
Isn't it great? The Psychonauts haven't had this kind of a threat in years.
This is another game where I used the music as is because I didn't dare ask the composer Peter McConnell to redo any music, especially music recorded with a full orchestra.
Turn back now. My name is Raz.
Great game. I did a full playthrough of it, right, over on my gaming channel, DSP Gaming. Superb. You know, at the time, ran really well on the Xbox, and it's a game that almost no one played. It's sad. It was one of the earlier Game Pass games. I think it just came way too late. Like, Psychonauts 1 was so further in the past that most people didn't remember it for Psychonauts 2. And also, they really, even though this is the trailer and the trailer is well done, they didn't really market the game well. Like, I didn't see the trailer anywhere, right? Like, you had to seek it out. And there was really no advertising. There was no major push. It was just kind of, oh, it'll be on Game Pass. It'll do well. It didn't. It did very poorly. Like, lots of people didn't even know it existed. So, pretty sad because the game is absolutely great. Superb game. Very fun. Good variety of gameplay elements and things in it. A lot of the stages are very different and themed and interesting. It's just so sad that it didn't do well.
And today is my first official day on the job.
Working with Tim Schafer and the Double Fine team was an amazing experience, and when the trailer was done, I screenshotted all the nice things people had to say so I could have it forever. Last but not least, Stray Gods, the role-playing musical.
I don't even know what this is. Stray Gods? Never heard of it.
I'm not saying this as a flex, but most of the time editing isn't the difficult part of what I do. I've been editing video for over 20 years, so it's second nature to me, but editing a trailer for a musical using multiple songs, all of which have lyrics, that's a challenge I had not overcome, and it kind of terrified me in the best way. And I say this as someone who usually seeks out the easiest projects I can possibly find, but I really wanted to make a trailer which not only had multiple songs, but could be listened to beginning to end as one piece. I wanted people to listen to this trailer on loop. Even Hollywood doesn't do this with trailers for musicals. In fact, Hollywood tries to hide the fact their movies are musicals, whether they're The Greatest Showman, Dear Evan Hansen, Joker Folie à Deux, The Color Purple, or Wicked? Really? When they're done right, they can be amazing, like in the trailers for Across the Universe. And the first into this challenge, and I'm very proud of what I accomplished.
But someone is dead and I'm losing my head.
Cool, but did anyone ever hear this game? Stray Gods? I've literally never heard of this game before. Also, what's sad is, this video is fascinating. It's really cool. This guy did all these trailers. This video has 1,500 views. That's it? That sucks. Right? Like, why did it get, like, no attention? This is, I mean, it's really awesome that this is this guy's resume and he's talking about it. No one cares. I don't know, man. I don't know about what people watch on YouTube anymore. I just don't. This, to me, this is like a quality video. I really like this video. 1,500 views. But I don't know what Stray Gods is. Some of those other trailers were really good and the games are really good. All right. Well, that is it for part 1 of DSP versus the internet for this week. I hope that you guys are enjoying. We continue on with more Ultra member submissions in the next part. If you would like to be a part of the fun, please become a member today. It not only supports the channel, but you also get to select the videos I watch. If you're an Ultra member, we're guaranteed to watch your video every week. And if you are a submissions tier member, all of those clips get put into a randomized playlist. You get an equal chance to be watched. So thank you all. See you in part 2. Okay, everybody.